Welcome to the Geostrategic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. A big thank you for joining us as we analyze the forces shaping global security. Today is the Romania National Day, and while the country celebrates unity, its role on NATO's eastern flank has never been more important. Romania stands at the crossroads of Europe's security, and the United States plays a decisive part in strengthening this front line. In the next few minutes, we're diving into why America's presence here still matters, how Romania's strategic position is evolving, and what it all means for the future of European defense. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel, and most importantly, I want to hear your voice. Fawn, do you think the U.S. should maintain or increase its presence on the eastern flank? How do you see Romania's role evolving? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This community thrives on your perspective, and I can't wait to read what you think.
It really is an essential topic right now. I mean, when you look at everything happening in the Black Sea region,
Volatility is just off the charts.
it is. And then you have the logistical importance of Romania being right there, a NATO border state next to Ukraine. And of course, these recent changes to U.S. troop levels, it all makes Bucharest, absolutely central to Europe's defense.
So our mission today for this deep dive is to really get past the headlines.
Exactly. We need to unpack the complex strategy behind this U.S. military. Let's call it a realignment. We need to analyze why this is being framed as an evolution, a move toward a more cohesive defense, and not a retreat. It's really a story about strategic focus.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the celebration today. Ziua Națională a României, the National Day. This is so much more than just a day off.
Whoa, absolutely. It's a deeply, deeply resonant moment.
Yeah.
It commemorates the Great Union of December 1st, 1918.
The Great Union.
That's the day that signifies the unification of territories, Transylvania, Bessarabia, Bukovina, with the Kingdom of Romania that existed at the time.
And this formed the modern state.
It formed the modern Romanian state. It wasn't just some political deal. It was, the realization of a national dream that had been building for a century. And that idea, that concept of sovereignty and territorial integrity is absolutely key to understanding why Romania takes its current role so seriously.
It informs every decision.
Every single strategic decision they make today.
And that spirit of commitment, that's really the foundation of the modern partnership with the United States. We hear the official statements, but what are the tangible ways Romania has really stepped up?
Well, it's far more than just talk. For years, Romania has consistently spent above the 2% GDP defense spending target from NATO.
And they're aiming for more, aren't they?
They're moving toward 2.5%. So from the U.S. perspective, Romania is seen as a steadfast security anchor. But beyond that, their support for Ukraine has been invaluable.
In what specific ways?
They've welcomed over 3 million refugees since the war started. And crucially, they've become this primary logistical hub for getting Ukrainian grain out to world markets.
And that's a huge deal. That grain issue is a global food security crisis.
A massive undertaking. It uses their ports, their railways. It's a huge economic and humanitarian role, not just a military one.
Right.
And the ties are multi-domain now. They go way beyond just military cooperation. Take energy, for example.
Energy transition.
Precisely. Romania is trying to position itself as a leader in regional energy independence. The U.S. cooperation includes massive investments in solar, wind, and oil, and especially nuclear capacity.
Right, the Cernavoda nuclear power plant?
Exactly. They're modernizing and expanding it. That's a key pillar for securing reliable carbon-free power for the whole region. It's about security, but it's also about economic resilience.
Okay, so that context, that holistic view of the partnership is set. Now, here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a little controversial.
The troop numbers.
Troop numbers. Given this huge strategic importance, we saw a pretty significant reduction from about 1,700 U.S. troops down to around 1,000. So to an outsider, especially someone worried about Russia, pulling 700 troops out while a war is raging next door, that looks like a sign of diminished priority. How do officials even begin to explain that?
That is the absolute core of the issue, and it's one U.S. military leaders have worked very hard to manage, let's say.
I'll bet.
They push back, and they push back hard on any idea of abandonment. The term they use is a recalibrated U.S. military posture.
Recalibrated.
Not a withdrawal. The main reason given is that it's part of a much broader, necessary strategic shift in focus toward the Indo-Pacific. The Pentagon has limited resources, and they have to put them where they see the biggest long-term threat. And, increasingly that's seen as East Asia.
But doesn't that just inherently weaken deterrence in the Black Sea? I mean, boots on the ground are a very visible symbol of Article 5 commitment.
It changes the nature of the deterrence. That's the argument.
Yeah.
U.S. officials would say it doesn't reduce the commitment itself. They stress that the remaining 1,000 troops are highly focused assets.
So quality over quantity?
In a way. And it's also important to remember that many of the troops that left were part of that temporary surge right after the invasion. The foundational structures, like the command elements at Mihail Kogalniciano Air Base, that's not going anywhere.
That's the critical hub.
It's a crucial hub for rotational forces, and it remains enduring. So they're trading, let's say, high-volume presence for high-impact capability.
It sounds like an admission that the U.S. just can't be everywhere in massive numbers at once.
It is. Precisely. They have to be smarter about allocating specialized assets. The commitment to collective defense, to Article 5, they say that is ironclad. What's changed is the expectation that Europe must and can handle a bigger share of the conventional defense burden.
Which lets the U.S. focus on those high-end capabilities.
Right. Force multiplication, strategic depth, the things European partners might still be developing. And that leads us right into how NATO's whole eastern flank strategy is evolving.
Okay, so what does this all mean on the ground? If the U.S. presence is smaller but more specialized, how does that flank, the most critical border in the world right now, stay guarded?
This is where we shift from thinking about individual national forces to a collective defense mechanism. And here's the crucial context.
Okay.
Despite that specific U.S. drawdown, the overall NATO military presence on the eastern flank is significantly stronger now than it was before 2022.
That sounds completely counterintuitive. Where's that strength coming from?
It's coming from coordinated multinational European deployments. We are seeing a fundamental shift away from the old, tripwire strategy.
Where a few troops were there just to signal that the U.S. was committed.
Exactly. Now we're moving to a strategy of forward defense and real resilience. And that strength is coming from these multinational European troop deployments and much, much better regional coordination.
The continuous integrated defense belt. I've heard that phrase. What does that mean in operational terms?
It's a massive undertaking. Don't think of it like a wall. Think of it more like a resilient, flexible web.
Okay.
The goal is to move past individual national armies toward a structure where allied forces are just constantly deployed, integrated, and ready to go across the entire flank. For Romania, this means hosting the French-led battle group.
Which includes troops from other nations too, right?
Right, from Belgium and the Netherlands. This is physical, interoperable, multinational presence on the ground.
So the increase in European boots on the ground is the direct compensation for the U.S. reduction. The overall deterrence is actually greater.
That's the idea. And the regional cooperation between Poland, the Baltics, and Romania is designed to just dramatically raise the cost of any potential Russian aggression.
How are they doing that?
Heavy investment in shared intelligence, standardizing ammunition, coordinated command and control structures, and Romania is a major host for these efforts, with the NATO multinational core Southeast headquarters in Sibiu. That's pivotal.
That's fascinating. So where does Romania fit into the bigger multi-domain picture, especially with the Black Sea?
The Black Sea is a critical battle space, and it requires you to think across land, sea, air, and cyber. The future of the flank is this cohesive multi-domain defense network.
And Romania's role in that
is to leverage its territory for key strategic assets. For instance, the Vaslui military base.
The missile defense system.
The Aegis Ashore ballistic missile defense system. That is a major, enduring U.S. strategic asset. It is not being drawn down, and it provides a protective shield over a huge part of southeastern Europe.
So in effect, the U.S. is trading 700 soldiers for ensuring the continuity of these high-tech force-multiplying systems?
That is the strategic calculus, yes. The focus is now laser-sharp on interoperability. That means more frequent, more realistic joint training exercises so that the French, Germans, Poles, and Romanians can all fight seamlessly together.
It sounds like the future involves greater European leadership then.
It does. Greater European leadership in conventional defense, supplemented by that continued but more focused U.S. support. The key takeaway is really that the alliance is maturing. The frontline states are taking on more ownership, making the whole thing more robust.
This analysis really shows just how fast Europe's security architecture is transforming. The eastern flank isn't just a line on a map anymore.
Not at all. It's becoming a highly integrated technological defense network.
Which requires immense political will and investment. The conversation seems to have shifted from, are the Americans here, to, are we, the Europeans, integrated enough to deter threats on our own?
Indeed. And it raises a really important question for you, for the listener, to think about. Given this shift toward an integrated European defense belt, what's the single most critical area beyond just troops where the U.S. should focus its support to maximize deterrence in the Black Sea? Should it be on, say, advanced intelligence and surveillance assets? Or maybe cyber defense capabilities? Or maybe tactical long-range fire systems? Which one of those provides the greatest force multiplication effect?
That's a fantastic final thought to chew on as we wrap up. This has been a really insightful deep dive into Romania's strategic position and the evolution of NATO's defense.
My pleasure. It's a crucial topic for understanding Europe today.
We really appreciate you listening or watching. Don't forget to check out our other deep dives for more insights into global affairs. We'll catch you next time. If you found this discussion valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the Geostrategic Podcast for more in-depth analysis on topics that shape our world. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay tuned for the next episode.